Sup, nerds? I'm Tom.
I'm Wes.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're going to take a look at the game that was described to us as Heart Attack in a Box, Paramedics Clear!
Clear!
This game is definitely like the most fast-paced game I've ever played. Like you have 60 seconds on your turn, and then 45 seconds and 30 seconds as you go through the rounds, and you're just like, oh, I'm trying to save these people. I'm trying to use my supply cards. I gotta switch them out. Oh god, will anybody trade me? And you're just like, ah.
If you want a little bit more information on how the game plays and what it's like, I definitely recommend that you check out our Gen Con interview with Kurt, where he goes over the game, gives us a quick preview of it, and it'll give you a good idea of what this game is like, how it plays, and etc.
Yeah. This is just going to be our thoughts.
The stuff most people put in their reviews, that's not their thoughts.
Yeah, it is our thoughts.
Yeah, we're thinking right now. We're just
now
spitballing.
you know how our videos
thinking
work.
about stuff and like how to save people.
The biggest reason why this game was described as Heart Attack in a Box is because, like Aaron said, the rounds are timed, and they're really fast timed at 60, 45, and 30 minutes. 60, 45, and 30 seconds, depending on what level you are at. And the thing is, though, you're playing cards to try and save these patients, but like the second you save them, a new one comes. So it's just this constant, unending, it's a madhouse. And also the companion app gives
beeping.
you, it gives you that beep, and it speeds up as it goes on.
Yeah, when you're down to the last few seconds, you're like, oh gosh, beep, beep, beep.
Right, so it's not just the time, it's that pressure too.
And there is a surprising amount of strategy in that, like Tom said, that they're constantly refreshing, but it's not like the second you save when another one comes in. The second you save your main gurney, that gurney fills up, but your backup gurney only gets filled on someone else's turn. Yeah, so there is some thinking like, okay, I could save this guy right now, or I could save the backup gurney so that one's empty, and because you have to sustain them every turn, you have to do something to them, there's definitely been games where I've been like, okay, I only have 10 seconds left, there's one more thing to do here, I'm just going to stop, or I'm going to put that in one of my cabinets to save it till next turn because I don't have enough time to fix that guy, draw a new guy, and then keep going.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing you need to think about is like, okay, I'm just going to sustain him if he's not critical, and then use the rest of my cards to buy all this gear and put it in my medical cabinet. And if I still have extra stuff, okay, maybe I will save him. And then, the next card I can use one of my medical supplies, and use it that way. But if you spend all of your cards saving a guy, and then you get a new patient, you're just like, oops, now he's just going to die too because I can't do anything. I can't even sustain him.
And that there is a bit of a learning curve with this game because you play in, a 1 minute frame. It's going to take a couple rounds or probably even a couple games before you kind of get the hang of it because some of these are and, some of these are or, and some of these are just one. So you have to kind of learn your board. And the boards are different. Every board's different. So, again, there is a lot of a learning curve. And also you can dump them to do the upgrades. You have to know which upgrades are good for what. So while it seems like it's a really fast-paced, and it is a fast-paced game in the time that you're playing it, but in terms of the career of you owning this game and how many times you've played it, it turns into a faster and more fluid game. It's a game, and again, it's a game that you learn and get good at.
Yeah, just like being an actual paramedic, you're probably gonna have your first couple patients die on you before you get the hang of how things work.
This is dark. We got dark here, guys.
Man, but I will say that I think that the heart attack in a box doesn't just come from playing the cards to get the treatments to heal the guy. It's like Aaron said, it's the amount of different things you're thinking about. It's not just, okay, I need 2 oranges to get a shot, or blood, these aren't in the right order. So I could trade this for an orange and do that, and there's beeping, but I also have to think of what's going to come next and what might he play, and this guy's critical, so I need to save him completely. And it builds and builds and builds, because if there was no timer, this game would be super easy.
Yeah, because you just do your 5 actions.
And if it was just doing the actions in your hand to put things on these guys, it also wouldn't be that difficult. But it's the judging, how much time do I have left? Is it worth it to do this now? Do I want to save that guy for next turn? But I could risk it and get more points, but then he could die. That's negative points. And it's that, backup in your mind that really make, you just get, flustered really easy.
You panic. You're like, ah! If you're having a hard time, managing your time in this game and you're trying to figure out what to buy when and what cards to trade and such a good way to practice is actually there's a solo mode of this game which is actually really good, and it still has you still time yourself, but you don't have the break between players. So it's like once you press pause and then clear again, it's your turn again. So you kind of you're just like constantly going, and you get a lot of practice that way if you really want to.
And that does kind of lead into my first kind of negative about this game, is like you were saying, there's no pause with other people's turns, is that, well, like, I do get where they're coming from the heart attack in a box, because during your turn, your heart's racing, and you're thinking, and your thoughts are all flustered, but when it's not your turn, there's almost like an awkward pause. You're like, okay, I'm done.
3 minutes.
And now I'm going to sit here for a little while and just watch you take your turn. And it's definitely not overly exciting to watch someone else take their turn, I didn't feel like.
You do have some player interaction where you can trade with other people, deny them or get a trade from them, or in a sense, like, put cards in the middle that they're not going to really need.
It's kind of Catan style trading too, though, where they're like,
it's like
I have this, I need that, and you're like, there's no way, unless you like desperately need what they have. You're like, there's no way I'm giving you what you need.
Yeah.
And maybe that's
I don't know.
just
Is
a
that how
personal
real
problem.
paramedics?
No, you guys are dying on.
You're not getting medicine. Medicine.
Band-Aids? I'm not giving you Band-Aids. Your guy's dying.
I did pull out the shelving collapse
Yeah.
and the board game injury, which I feel like the same thing, because that's definitely a board game shelf collapsing on someone. Like, the artwork in this game, the injuries are really funny if you look at them. I mean, it'd really suck if somebody's happened to you, but you're just like, oh, electrocution. Oh, he's touching a wire. And then, oh, attacked by a bully, and there's this big guy bullying him. It's just, cheeky little fun artwork.
I think they put the light-hearted artwork in there because, again, this is a very serious thing.
Yeah.
Since they lightened it up a bit, then at least you can be like, okay, I lost as a paramedic and people died on my watch. Well, at least we were having a little bit of fun with it. These guys kind of look like the caution wet floor sign and stuff. This game is kind of middle of the road for me. I'm definitely not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying I'm very mediocre. I'm very meh about it. And there's probably two big reasons for that. One of my biggest issues that I have with games is when there's not a lot of player interaction. And we were saying that there is some that's kind of like, fabricated at the table. But 95% of this is it's a single player game. You're just trying to do better than the other person at the single player game that you're sitting next to and you very rarely interact with. That was my biggest problem with Anachrony, and that's my biggest problem with some Euros. It just, if I'm not, sitting down to play the players and not the game that term, then for me personally, it's not gonna, knock it out of the park. And I think mechanically this game is pretty smooth, it's pretty clever. I do like the timer, but the other reason why I don't really, I don't love it is because I think it might have been oversold to me. The whole heart attack in a box, while I think that's accurate to say, the true most heart attack in a box game I've ever played was also by Smirk and Dagger, and it was Dead Last, that we actually did a review of Dead Last. That one, my heart was pounding way more, and it was way more intense, and most of that was because you were playing the players, not the game.
I do get what Tom was saying about how, you are playing the board, and it's almost like a bunch of people playing a solo game together. I think that when I play this again, I am going to kind of aim for like the 2-player, maybe 3. 4 players is just too much time between my turns. And I may even skip like the 60-second round. I think that's good if you're learning the game. But honestly, the 60-second round was almost too much time that I didn't get that heart attack feeling until like 10 seconds. So I kind of want to skip that and just go to everyone having like 30-second rounds. I think that might give me a little bit more of that feeling.
Do 3 rounds of 30 seconds. That'd be intense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of more of what I would want to do with it.
I don't know what they're talking about. I really enjoy this game. I think that it has the right amount of, take that in a way. You only can stab them in the back with this one dagger. Smirk and Dagger. This is your one dagger. You get to put this in their backup gurney, and when they flip it over, they're like, "Oh crap! Now I got to take care of this guy. I'm not gonna be able to make that stuff because I've already put it over here, or I just don't have the cards available because they're not out here for me to trade around." In the solo mode of this game, I actually never like solo modes, but this is one that I trying to learn the game. Oh, there's solo. I can play it this way. It's excellent. I really like it because you can try and beat your highest score. You're just okay, I'm going to, just play on the 45-second rounds and go. You're like, okay, I'm going to play it on 30-second rounds. I'm going to see if I can beat that score. And then you try again and again. You're just it's really quick. It's 15, 20 minutes if you know how to control the deck and keep everything organized, because this thing, it can get hectic. You're throwing your pieces around. You're like, oh, I saved him. Okay. Oh shoot. Oh, I need more blood. And you can't find it. So I really like it. I think that quick, it's almost like a dexterity game and the fact that like you're trying to be quick and like think, you know, you're like like
I can see where you're coming from with
yeah,
that.
like because like I don't know, like Escape, you know, the Hidden Temple. Like I've always really loved that game. That's a co-op timed game, and like you know, you're rolling dice, and you're like, oh, you know, you're just trying to like think clearly under pressure, and like I feel like this gives it to you. I can see your point with like the 60 seconds can be a little long once you learn the game. Ramp it up. Just play all 30-second rounds if you're good at this game.
Yeah, I guess Aaron's just more cut up to be a paramedic than we are.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, clearly, we're pretty divided on our opinion here. And again, they're for subjective reasons. Again, I don't think this game is a poorly designed game by any stretch of the means. It's just
component quality is great, artwork's great. It's like it's during your turn, it's a lot of fun. I see where they're coming from with it.
Right, and my subjective reason was just that, you know, I would like more player interaction. But if you have played Paramedics Clear, who do you agree with? Me, Wes, or Aaron? Put it in the comments down below.
And while you're down there, you can click on the purchase link to get yourself a copy of this game.
And while you're still down there, don't forget to subscribe.
So you'll never be bored.
Boom. What's up? At 60, 45, and 30 minutes.
It's so quick.
fast.
I only have 17 minutes left. Oh my gosh. I have to actually drive to the hospital and back.
60, 45, and 30 seconds, respectively. What?
Nothing. Sorry.
60, 30, and 45. 60, 45, and 30 seconds, you know,